crush my lungs and swallow me whole. Little does that big man know I've got me a pocket of stones. Giant in the desert haze, the Lord has given me a test today. Into my sling, wait for the midday bell to ring. A pocket of stones, and on that throws. A pocket of stones, the Lord's gonna take his spirit home. A pocket of stones, my skin and bones. A pocket of stones, the Lord's gonna take his spirit home. Six gun. I am scared, but do not run. The Lord will protect his faithful son. He pulls his gun and takes his aim. In his eyes I see the flames. Between his eyes in the dust, the giant lies. A pocket of stones, and on that throws. A pocket of stones, the Lord's gonna take his spirit home. A pocket of stones, my skin and bones. A pocket of stones, the Lord's gonna take his spirit home.
Sand fills my shoes. My skin is burnt like stone. My bones are all that carry me. A man lived long ago. For went into the desert. One's coming back alone. Where the time has gone, I do not know. Like an ember, it sets my world alight. The miles left behind me under a wildfire sky.
Can you feel it coming? The winds are changing now. Can you see it flowing? The blood that stains the ground. 4 souls in the fire, 3 bullets from a gun. 2 hours in the Badlands, and now there's only one. Desert voices, they're calling me. They're commanding what I can't see. Desert voices, I cannot stop. As I make my way to the mountaintop. As I'm
Hey, yo, everybody, how are you doing today? Well, it sounds like the audio is working fantastic. Got everything set up, and we are gonna be trudging along here. How is you guys' wonderful Sunday going so far? I've had a pretty nice weekend. It's been a little bit more relaxed than the last few months, so it's kind of nice to finally be able to just slow down. And my slow down still means I still like to do a lot of stuff because I don't like to I don't like to be doing nothing really. But anyways, I wanted to give a special shout out, of course, everybody, to the wonderful Patreon subscribers here. And we're going to be continuing work on our saloon that we started on our last live stream. I can't remember, but if you guys want access to all the project files, links to that is in the description below. And without a further ado, we got to jump back into this. We got some stuff to do. We kind of finished all of the exterior, I think, of this saloon. We might add some more detail to the back of the saloon, but we did quite a bit of that. And then now we got to get into doing the interior, and then probably some texturing and whatnot. I'm a little hesitant to do any texturing because the thing about Unreal Engine is I'm not quite sure. I saw some videos where you could bake down the lighting to an image, I guess, and then that we could import into Unreal, but then we're pretty locked in on what the lighting is. So I'm wondering if we would have to do different lighting situations inside of Blender and then bake that. I don't know. I'll have to get some of your guys' opinion. I guess mostly what we will be kind of locking down isn't necessarily the lighting as much as it is the shading of the wood. Because on the last building we did, for instance, there was quite a bit of like textures that we built that were procedural textures. And I know those won't go into Unreal Engine properly. So we're going to have to kind of bake those into image files themselves. But yeah, this is what we've got so far on our beautiful saloon here. Got a little bit to go on the back. I think it's just a little barren, and obviously on the bottom, I gotta research what the bottom of these buildings look like. Like, is there a lot of, structures underneath them? I'm not sure. But here's our reference image for some of the interior stuff that we'll be working on today. And then I have just a singular collection here, but I want to start breaking up some of these things into different pieces. And I found this to be very useful just for like easily disabling and enabling things. One thing that this is pretty basic, beginner level thing, but if you guys ever are trying to keep things so you can enable and disable them, the eyeball button isn't a great way of doing this, because what it's doing is it's temporarily hiding an object inside of your scene. It's not actually hiding it. So let's say you had a very, very detailed object that is making your scene run slow, especially on playback through a shot here. And let's say we're trying to animate something. Well, you might want to disable the high res objects inside of your scene and only enable rendering. Well, the eyeball button isn't great for that, because all it's going to do is it's going to keep it loaded in your viewport, but kind of make it so that it's not visible. And so that's still very intensive on your scene. So one thing that I always like to do is enable this little display viewport button right here. And then if you disable that, then it's not even cached or loaded inside of your sequence. And I can't really show you that here, but essentially what that'll do is then make it so that it'll actually play back more at real time. If you're dealing with really, really intensive stuff. And with that being said, sometimes I like to have a low res version. Let's say this is the low res version and then this was the high res version, but they were exactly in the same place. But I wanted to see them at the same time. Let's just real quick call this roof, because that's what it is. It's a roof. But let's say I duplicated that. One thing I like to do is if this 0.001 was the high res, I would disable it in the viewport, but then I would disable the render on the low res. So that way you never have to enable or disable stuff. You don't have to remember that stuff before your renders. You could kind of just keep things that way. But anyways, pretty basic thing. I just thought I'd share that. Very useful, especially with characters, to have a really low res version of your character that you're animating, and then the high-res version is what you are rendering. Hey, Orlando Caicedo, welcome to the chat. How you doing today? Nice to see you again as well. We're just finishing this up today, which is going to be this wonderful thing. I'll probably start to go through and first of all these modifier objects, we're probably going to start to just apply this stuff. I feel like modifiers aren't going to really do us any good anymore. We kind of need to bake everything down. We're done mostly with 3D modeling, so it's just a lot of cleanup now, getting things organized, maybe consolidating objects. You're all good? Awesome, awesome. I want to, and I haven't put this on Discord yet, but I'd like to start to invite people to start creating some of their own 3D models if they'd like to help contribute to this game. Because there's going to be a lot of 3D models that we're going to have to make for this game. And I was like, well, you know what? Maybe we can start to get other people to get involved if they're interested. So let's go here. Enable that. Okay, that's all the modifiers. Sculpting a sculpture of Batman from the last night. Ooh, dude. That's awesome. You know, sculpting is one of those things that I haven't done a whole lot of. Most of the sculpting I've actually done has been on this live stream, different series and stuff like that. So it's kind of one of those things that I'd like to get more into, but I've just never done it. And maybe one day. Maybe one day. That day is not today. Trying to see, and how have I been? Well, I've had a busy week. We are on to that job that I shot in London. We are now doing visual effects for it. So what that means is that basically every day I'm working a lot of hours, which is great. I actually really enjoy that. You know, and most of these days I have an office over at Warner Brothers now, so I'm kind of just working with the directors and the editor on making sure everything is what they want, because they're still editing the film. So I'm starting to do some of the visual effects that are definitely going to be in the film, so that way they can cut it in, see what it looks like from a preview perspective. And that's really cool. It's really exciting to be a part of that creative process. Because it really, we're kind of like changing the way in which we are potentially going to be doing stuff on it, depending on how it looks. So a lot of it is just, you know, figuring out the best way to go about certain things. I think I'm going to make these all singular objects. And then like this, everything that's like very similar, I'm trying to keep. Yeah, let's do it this way. I flip that, and then I flip everything. Probably didn't have to do that. Could have done selection inverted, but you know, that was going to be more annoying, honestly. An extra button click. I guess it's the less button clicks, to be completely honest. I was just not wanting to. All right, let's put all of the walls in the same one. That way, when I want to grab one, I will say I was thinking about this earlier. Yeah, let's call this walls that way. I don't have a good naming convention that I really like. But I'm going to put this part of the roof. Yeah, I don't have a naming convention that I'm like a huge fan of, but I am thinking I'd like to start to standardize the way in which I name stuff. So probably removing spaces, also any upper cases. I don't know. The underscore maybe not do. I don't. Yeah, let's I think what's nice about this is it'll throw it to the top of the list. So if there's stuff that I haven't done, it'll all collate into one area. because it's all non-renamed. So then this automatically jumps it to the top of my project list here. Okay, I think all of our windows are pretty much on the same one already, but if not, I will do so. Perfect. Whoa. Do I still have a modifiers? I do. Wasn't supposed to. Supposed to apply all of our modifiers here. Where's this located? Oh, it's under the empty. Okay, that's great. Perfecto. How you doing, Mech? Welcome to the chat. Just trying to consolidate a lot of our objects here. Probably remove this from the empty here. So Alt-P, clear parent, keep transform. Kind of don't need these empties anymore. Just do underscore window. And then this, I mean, this is just a railing, I guess. Call it railing 01. One thing I have noticed is that, yeah, that works for me, I guess. This would be banisters, or like, what would they call that? Porch? Porch supports. Let's do initial caps, or yeah, let's do camel casing, but with an underscore at the beginning. I actually probably should join these with it. And then one thing I want to look into, we'll have probably a TD work with maybe making these explode. I would like it so that way you can break these apart, but I don't know if that's something that you pre-bake the explosions on, or if that's done directly inside of Unreal Engine. I don't know. That is something I'd like to learn a little bit more about. Let's see, entrance, stairs. Porch floorboards. I feel like that's a tongue twister unintentionally. Building walls. Let's see. This probably should get joined with this whole front section here. Is there anything underneath it that I should be worried about? Don't think so. It's just this front section. Technically not proper like construction, you know? Entrance supports. It'll be very useful later to have a lot of this organized. Building supports. I guess the front of this as well. And this is just like what? Porch front? I don't know. I'm running out of names here, guys. Guess we don't need these. There we go. And then we'll flip this around. A lot better. Okay. Now, I want to know what you guys think. Should on the back I have like a ladder or something like that to be able to climb up to the top, like through an outside? Let's look up some reference images. Maybe we can find some reference images of like I want like saloon, so 1800s saloon building, or rear of building. Let's see what we got going on. One of my favorite ways to just look up reference images these days is by using a something like Midjourney or ChatGPT or something like that, because then it can get very hyper specific things to look up. What do you think about this naming convention? Porch front 01 final. This is the good one. Version 1. Yeah. No, that's right. That's the exact that's the proper naming convention right there. I don't know why I thought otherwise. All right, let's see real quick. So this is the stairs right there. So we probably want, oh, wait a second. Oh, that's the whole second floor is connected as well? Or did I just accidentally? Oh, this is just a reference. Call this ref underscore floor. No, that's the perfect naming convention right there. I'm glad you brought that up. Just delete that as well. Although, actually, you know what? Let's keep it. Ref person. Can you turn on statistics? What do you mean? Statistics for what? Down with turning statistics on, but I don't know what you're asking for. Interior and then underscore bar. You know what? Let's do that. So all of these like inside ones, we go underscore interior and then underscore bar back. Want to see how many faces there are. Oh, how do I do that? You know what? I actually don't know how to do that. I'm sure it's under like my settings or something like that. You know what's funny is I've noticed those are no longer there. There's not that many faces in this scene, so you're going to be completely unimpressed. But developer extras? No. Yeah, this is not like one of those big scenes. It's actually very small because there's only, it's just game stuff, not in settings. Oh, where is it then? Where is it then? It's the ones by the balls. Well, that's descriptive. Ah, statistics. There you go. Yeah, not that many. I knew what you meant by the balls, though. That's, yeah, see? Not that many. Honestly, it's really small. This isn't that crazy detailed of a scene. Not yet. Not until we start going in, when we start adding, like, little, oops, just like little floorboards that are going to be broken or something like that. We could do that, just a little bit of that. A little bit of this, you know, just a little bit of bowing. Somebody walked on this a little too much, you know. And even still, like, it's not that much detail. I mean, you could bevel this if you want. You want it to feel a little more smooth. But honestly, we could probably really get away with a lot. Marvin Studios, what's up? Welcome in the chat. I think the stairs, though, are going to be on this side here. That's what I'm thinking. If we were to have stairs that go up, it would be over here because of the way our floor is. That's what I'm thinking. You know me, I get distracted when I'm... Let's do copy rotation. I guess that doesn't really help me anymore, does it? I get so distracted when building. I just go, oh, you know what would be cool? And then I just start doing that rather than like finishing what I was working on. Same. It's like when you're doing something, you're like, oh, I'm going to do this. We're going to start working on the interior today, guys. And then immediately just starts working on something completely different. That's me. Do modifier. We'll do probably an array. Just makes it easier to make stairs very easily. Do something like this. Probably, yeah. Totally. Oh, let's just bring that down a little. And then we can just bevel it like I was talking about. Give us some nice worn stairs here. You were making a map when you found yourself making a hat? That's the description of my life right there. I think that's about good for the height of the stairs here. Yeah, I like that. And so then what I'll do is we'll just apply this. And let's see, we're going to go to the top here. And let's see, let's put this like right there. So are you using that shortcut add-on, the one that shows what keys you press? No. You know, I forget what that's called. It's like quick press or something like that. I could do it, but I feel like you guys don't need to know. Do you guys need to know? Is it extensions now? Used to be add-ons. Oh, I guess it is still add-ons. 1 second. So let's see. Quick press. No. Screencast. That's what it is. Good old screencast. Now, how do you enable it? Install it, please. Screencast keys. And tools. Items, views. I think it's over here somewhere. I saw someone do it once in a tutorial and I was like, oh, that's how you do it. It used to actually always be enabled. You didn't have, it wasn't like a, there it is, screencast. Let's turn them on. And then, so that puts it over here. You guys are going to see how much I press Control Z constantly. It's my life, is just pressing Control Z over and over again. All right, let's see. How do we make stairs? I don't even know how stairs work. Okay, so let's just duplicate other stuff because I already have really nice looking things. First of all, let's see. We'll select all this crap over here. And Control L. There we go. Then let's duplicate that over to this side. And rotate it 45 degrees. Pretty close. You're welcome, Douglas, but also welcome into the chat. I think you're new here. How you doing? Okay, so that's the height of our thing over there. I guess this might need to be raised a little. Not quite sure. It's helpful to see the keys you press for non-English speakers. Fair enough. Let's do this. We're going to hide this for a moment just so I can actually see what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to lift this roughly about that height. And just going to grab this all the way over. Just try to roughly line it up. It doesn't have to be perfect, honestly, but and then I'm going to try to space these out a little better. Okay, cool. But how will they know the letters? Well, Control S, right? Ctrl-S. I feel like, well, in most languages, the alphabet's the same or very similar. All right. Let's go ahead and hide that. I feel like, is Control-S the same when you're like, oh, you guys got to tell me. When you're speaking, let's say, Turkish or German, I know we have a few of these guys in the chat here. Do you still do Control-S or is it a different one? Is it a different shortcut in other languages? I never thought of it until you just mentioned that. And now I'm curious. All right. We're going to make the sidings of this, I think. Probably just another cube, honestly. No, they're all the same. Even if the, think about it, because even if your word for save in another language isn't save, it's something completely different. Would you still say Control S for save? Because think about it. S, it means save in English. And if the program was coded in English, or software was coded in English, then would it still say Control S in other languages? This is the quandary of the century here, guys. I think before I do this, let's control, that's fine. Let's duplicate this, probably like right over here. Rotate this 90 degrees. Well, Douglas, welcome to the clan. We do Blender stuff here. We also do other VFX stuff. I just haven't done it in a while. So we're a little bit more of a VFX channel here. But I do love me some Blender. Right now we're kind of, it's not, I guess we are making a video game. That's what I keep saying in the titles of our videos. It's the plan. We're making a video game. Just move this down a little bit. I don't even know, is this proper? Is this a proper stairs? I do something like that. But I already have some stuff imported into Unreal, and then we're gonna go from there. I have to ask Hasselhoff, isn't he German? Well, if Hasselhoff joins, then we'll ask him. He'll probably join in a bit, more than likely. Connor overthinking in real time. Connor always overthinks. That's the problem. Okay. Can't really go to side view now, can I? But I can just do this. And is it really overthinking if you're thinking over? I don't know. These are questions that I ask myself. Do you? Oh, wait, Z is not the answer. Closer to there. Only a little bit higher. And a little bit less. 0.85. 0.87. Guess who's here in the chat? Who? Oh, New Gen. What's up, man? Connor, what type of video games are you making, by the way? What type of video? Oh, sorry. Wow, I can't even read. This is how dyslexic I am. I misread everything I just read. Okay. What type of video game am I making? It's like, so did you watch my short film? Please tell me you watched my short film, Bad Omen. If you haven't, then go watch it. It's on my YouTube channel. And if you have, then essentially this is I wrote a I wrote a full feature film script. So that's a short film that's about like 10 minutes long. And then I wrote a feature film script that I would like to produce one day. And some of the recommendations I was given by producer friends of mine was that things usually are better if they're based off of IP of some kind. So one of the recommendations was if your thing was a video game, then, you know, it would be easier to produce it into a movie. So I am making the opening scene of the game in on stream with you guys. And hopefully that'll mean that one day we can make it into a movie. That's the goal anyways. What is 0.8? Yeah, that's pretty close. So this game is like a it's like Red Dead Redemption, I suppose. Is the plan. It's the goal. I mean, are we going to hit that goal? Maybe not. I mean, that's a pretty lofty goal right there. But that's what we want to do, and hopefully we can hit it. Let's see, rotate 45 degrees. That's probably too much. Let's line this up. Let's go right there. Let's line you up with the side. And then if we use our 3D cursor all the way down here, we're just going to pivot it on that spot. So just swap that over to 3D cursor and rotate on your Z-axis. Keep forgetting which direction I'm going. Probably something like that. Pretty good. You're like a hair in my mouth or something. Do you ever do previs or something like that in 3D before shooting? 100% actually. I have a good video about that. Pop it up. Why not? Break time. Let's see if I can find this thing. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, but I'll show you some bits of it. This was a cool little video that I cut together for a movie I worked on last year. And in it, we actually had like a full, like kind of like 3D CG world of that we had to build. And so because of that, it required us to actually create concept art throughout the whole process. So from the very beginning, we talked with this director here, and some of the stuff that we worked on was just straight from the beginning was creating like kind of like because we were essentially shooting in like this black box kind of world thing here. You can watch this whole video. It's on my channel if you want. But this is a 360 camera that's kind of like on top of it. We shot in this like black box essentially with some tracking markers in different areas. And then they would film like the actors on over top of that black area, but we would then extend it into a full CG world behind them. And in order for us to be able to do that, we actually, before anything was done, we created previs for like a bunch of the sequences, just like in 3D with like really crappy animation type stuff. Oh, there's me looking really, I don't even know. But we would do that for a lot of the different, you know, sequences. I don't even know how many of them I showed in here necessarily, but we basically did it for different like sequences that we knew were going to be like full VFX. And I guess is that this was like some of the void stuff right here. And we would do like whole sequences where we would animate just with like these like these characters, and then that way everybody knew going into the production what the stuff would look like. One of the film that I'm working on right now, we previs the whole opening of the film, so that way we knew what all the shots were that we needed to film, and that was super useful. I mean, this is a Warner Brothers and Fox film. And, you know, we're sitting there with our laptop out on set. We're shooting at like in London at the Warner Brothers stage. And, you know, the previs was what we set everything up to do. So that was very, very useful. Previs is so incredibly useful to get everybody on the same page, from the director of photography to, you know, the camera operators and, you know, the director, of course, what his vision is or her vision is. You know, what I'll need from those sequences, because obviously we'll be filming plates. I need to know what we're shooting and how we're shooting it. And all of that stuff comes from previs. It comes from concept art. It comes from discussions and conversations that you have with those different departments. So 100%, do I do previs? Yes, I do. Mostly on the big stuff, I will say. Like, it's not, we won't do it as much for, you know, like a muzzle flash. Like, you don't need previs for that kind of shot. But for if you're doing big explosions, I guess I can't show that because this movie's not out yet, but we previs. I have like a bunch of previs I could show you guys at some point. But yeah, I mean, it's so useful. Okay, let's see. Back to the grind. Okay. And I'm going to rotate this, I guess right here is what I need. The cool thing is, I might just go to the rotation here. Just make sure that's flat. Go somewhere like right there. Beautiful thing. Oh yeah, and that's the link to the Discord. So if you're not part of the Discord, Douglas, because you're new here, you should join the Discord. A lot of really cool individuals are on there, and if you're working on projects, please share them. Love to see what you're doing, what you're creating, and if you need any notes, that's the best place to do it. All right, let's move this over to about right there. Just gonna have it inset a little bit. Probably move all of these stairs. So let's just select these real quick. And then move these over as well. Perfect. And then now we've got this guy up here. Again, let's select everything. I probably don't need this guy selected. And I need him? I don't know. We'll decide in a moment. Let's duplicate this. Rotate it by 90 degrees. Not that. And there you go. Yeah, I guess I don't need that. Figured as much. That's fine. We could just delete it. And that should be good. Cool. And then we'll enter or cut a door into this wall as well. And then I kind of need railings that are going to go all the way down this. That's good. And then we'll take it over here and then rotate you 90 degrees as well. Feel that VFX really needs good preparation beforehand. Of course, not for simple stuff, but when you're dealing with complex scenes, it seems key. 100%. Really what I think a lot of filmmaking in general is, not just visual effects, is proper planning and communication. And that's one thing I think Previs does, is it's just one of those things that allows you to communicate what you need or what an image is going to look like. And that's the whole point. So 100% agree with that. I do think it's just like a lot of proper planning and making sure that everybody's on the same page and that you know what they want. Because honestly, like, this is the biggest thing I think a lot of people don't realize, is just because someone says, oh, hey, I want, an example. That world, for instance, was a great example because we're creating a whole different world. And it's like, hey, I want to have them inside. The concept was, it was a film called The Curse of the Necklace, and the souls get trapped inside of the necklace. So in the script, I think it said something like they're in the void. Now, when I say void to you, what do you have in your mind of what that looks like? And that was a communication we kind of had to figure out, because I think immediately, like, my mind kind of goes to, I think my mind was like, oh, Stranger Things, they're going for like a Stranger Things type shot. And with that, do we want to copy Stranger Things, or do we want to try to do something original? And that was something we kind of had to figure out. But that's the point, right? So I think trying to figure out what everybody wanted was the first conversation. And then after we figure out kind of what they want, you go and then have to showcase what that is. And really, that's why I think it's important to do all of that before you work on the film at all. Because otherwise, you could get to the point where you kind of know what you want, but maybe the executive producer, maybe you and the director know exactly what you guys are going for. The executive producer doesn't. The actors don't. And the actors have to act. And sometimes if it's green screen, or for us, it was just black duvetine, it's like you got to tell them what they're seeing, because otherwise they're just seeing that kind of like blank set with tracking markers on it, a camera, and like 100 people all staring at them going, act. And they're like, I don't know what I'm acting against, because they have no clue. I think the more we go into a world of like green screen and like those types of visual effects, it's important to see what you're doing. And that's where I think virtual production works really well, because virtual production puts what the VFX are on the screens, and now you can actually see it when you're acting. And that's awesome. Unfortunately, though, it also means that, oh, I think my camera just went out. One moment. We're gonna work on this. Guys, I think we're gonna have to do the rest of the stream without the camera. It's out of battery, and don't know why. I don't know why, guys. It's unfortunate. It really is. You guys won't have to see my pretty face, which actually might get me more subscribers. Who knows? So we're just going back to this. Okay, what are we working on here? What are we doing? I know. Oh no, bro. I think what happened is I have my camera plugged in to charge while it's shooting, but it's plugged into the computer. And I think before I went on my trip, it was more like plugged into, it was more plugged into I think I actually had it plugged into the wall. So I'm going to have to figure that out, because still figuring things out, guys. This is what happens when you go away for 2 months. But it's all right. Hopefully no one's feelings will get hurt that they're not seeing my face. I actually feel like you guys will think this is better. All right, we're just going to increase the array. Let's go back one, and there you go. So now we've got ourselves some beautiful looking posts. We got some posts. Some post Malones? No. Yeah, we'll do that. And, let's go into this. We're going to start. Oh, that's hilarious. I duplicated everything except for the bottom rung. So, let's fix that. That's obviously a problem. Not better. Stop lying to yourself. It is better without my face. All right. Oh, I went to like a really cool Blender meetup the other day. I didn't know they had these, and I've been part of the Blender community forever, but apparently they do different Blender meetups. I don't know if it's just where I'm at in LA, but I do know that they have it specify that it's LA meetup, which means that possibly, by the way, there are meetups in other locations. So I thought I'd let you guys know that because that's cool. I want to get this to... I'm going to have to be at that angle. Go up. Confused right now. Do I need to... Then maybe I do it more at an angle. You gotta walk your pet lion. Let's go. Is this because I don't have a camera? Is this the reason why you're leaving me? I feel betrayed now. Let's grab all that. I don't know where pet lion came from. Do you actually have a pet lion? I want a pet lion. How do you sign up to get a pet lion? I'm not liking any of this, by the way. I kind of hate everything I just did. That looks the jankiest I think I've ever done. You'll stay if the camera comes back on? Oh my gosh. You're putting a lot of pressure on me right now. Like, this is an insane amount of pressure. Look, man. This is the Walmart production, okay, of Connor's live streams. Can't expect full quality Marvel quality over here. I might be able... One second. I got ideas. We've got ideas. We've got ideas. I think I have an idea. Is it a good idea? I don't know. We're about to find out, though. Let's see. If I take this longer cable that's actually plugged into the wall, I could fish this over. Give me 30 seconds. Count for me in the chat right now. I don't see anyone counting, okay? So I can goon? Okay, I wasn't gooning. I want to make that very clear right now. But also my camera's sideways. We're going to fix this. We're going to fix it. Oh my God, I just dropped the speaker. All right, I have doubts this is going to stay on, honestly, because it's not exactly fully charged. It's like, yeah, it's going to go off. If I keep it plugged in, though, it'll charge in the next like 20 minutes, and then I'll plug it back in. Oh, I'll turn it back on. So I'll do is I'm going to charge the battery right now. Yeah, it's gone again. I'm going to charge the battery up. And hopefully it'll come back on in like the next 10, 15 minutes. So let's do that. And then I'll look into this to make sure this doesn't happen again in the future. But that's the plan for right now, okay? Otherwise, we're going back to the crappy 20 minutes, sure. Otherwise, we're going back to the crappy webcam, and no one wants that. Nobody wants that. Because you guys may have not been here for the live streams I did on the bad webcams. But I'll tell you right now, it was unenjoyable. Don't put a fork in the heart. Whoa. I never put a fork. Okay. I never did the fork, but I actually did. Okay. I actually did put something in the outlet once. I don't know. I just thought it would work. So I had these 2 wires, and so I stuck them inside of the outlet. And then I took a light bulb and I held it up against the 2 wires because I was like, this will light the light bulb. And it did for exactly less than 0.1 seconds. And then the light bulb exploded in my hands. So that's that. I never did the fork in the outlet, but I did put something in the outlet. And I will say, you do not want to stick a fork in an outlet. I didn't really get hurt. I just learned my lesson. And maybe that was the best thing that could have happened to me. I could have gotten off harder than that. I could have died, but I didn't. I was resilient. Some Looney Tunes shit. Hey now. Not that bad. I tried it though. And what more you couldn't say that you ever tried it, so it just means that I was smarter for thinking mechanically so, right? That's the way I choose to view life, is that really I was just being smarter, I was just being smarter. Less than 1 second was worth it. 100% though, because if you think about it, I was just being an engineering minded person. I was trying to create my own. I was trying to be Thomas Edison. How many times do you think Thomas Edison just plugged a light bulb inside of the outlet? I guarantee you he did it too. And we all, say he's super amazing and all that, because he invented, the light bulb. What we'll do is we'll lower this, I think, now. Sure. Don't lie to yourself. It wasn't smart. Hey, but I like see. As a kid, I had a concept of what internet or not internet. I had a concept of what electricity was, and I was testing my own theories with it. Sue me if you think that was, you know, don't sue me. But yeah. All right, let's take this. I wanted to copy the rotation of everything except for maybe this one. Yeah. The tiny cartoon stars. Who told you about that? All right, then we'll grab this face here and have that go up as well. Wonderful thing. Wait, are these not on the same? My bad, I guess. Let's center that. And then this one just duplicated again. Okay, now we'll just use an array again, I suppose. I was outside your window with a stepladder at 9:36 p.m. What? What does that mean? Should I be concerned right now, chat? Okay, I think negative 0.21. 3. Well, joke's on you. I wasn't at my room last night at 9:36 p.m. Joke's on you. I don't have a window. All right, and then let's take this. We'll just apply the array. And then we'll just join all this crap together. Now we just do another array. But you do a -1. Negative 0.9. Little hacker needs to chill. 0.95. 0.85. Why are some of these further away? We'll apply that for a second. It's fine. And don't make me install a window on your house and watch you. You couldn't get to me, man. I'm in a government high security place. Let's do an array. They got me under lock and key because they're like, wow, this kid almost invented a light bulb. Let's get that applied, I suppose. And then we'll just join it all together. Perfecto, baby. Now this goes to an array. -1. Oh my gosh. Why can't it ever just work? 0.8. -0.9. Oh yeah, that actually does work. Almost. And also, why is it the rotation's off? I don't understand. Told me. Well, I didn't almost burn down the house because I had thought through plans like such, and I did things like such with ideas, and that helped solve problems as I had. Yep. Why are these getting increasingly further and further away? What is going on right now? Can I not use an array? Is it just like, hey, no arrays for you today? You've done enough with your arrays. I guess. Oh, that worked. There you go. I guess we got ourselves some stairs. By the way, Connor, have you seen the new Alien series? No, I haven't, but I kind of wanted to. I've seen some stills online. It looks pretty cool. Oh, you're going to say I didn't almost burn down the house? I did burn down the house. Wait, I didn't. Oh, I didn't almost. I did. See, that would require me to have actually burned down the house, but I didn't. So I can't say that. Otherwise, that would be a lie. And my mom told me not to lie. Let's put this on ground level here. But I don't really watch a lot of TV shows, so it always takes me a while to watch TV shows. Cuz I don't know, I've been burned too many times, I feel like. Like the last TV show I really got into was Obi-Wan. And I was so excited. I love Star Wars. And then I watched Obi-Wan. And I wasn't as excited anymore. In fact, I love Star Wars so much, okay, guys? Star Wars was what got me into doing visual effects in the first place when I was a kid. I started using Blender when I was 7 years old on Blender version 2.4 or 3 or 2, something like that. Forget which version it is, actually. But I used it back when Big Buck Bunny, the animated film, came out that they did. And I started making pod race shots in Blender. It was amazing. I loved it. That was what got me into doing 3D and visual effects and all that. But I didn't even watch Andor, season 1 or 2. So, I don't know. I just got burned. The Alien series is only 2 episodes. Oh, you know what the last show was I guess I watched was Wednesday. I just watched Wednesday season 2. And this is another kind of annoying thing that TV shows are doing nowadays. They release it like part 1, part 2, like, oh, you're going to get these episodes 2 months from now. It's like here's all the first half of the season. It's like I don't want to wait a month and a half for the next 4 episodes and you leave me on an insane cliffhanger. That's annoying. I liked it better when it was binge worthy. I have an idea. I get why they want to make it so that you have to binge or you can't binge TV shows. It's because binging ruins the amount of money that they're making from people paying per month. Because what they'll do is they'll just binge a show and then they're not going to stay on the subscription platform. So my theory, what they should do is they already offer annual subscriptions and monthly subscriptions. I think they should make it so that the annual subscriptions are allow you to watch an entire TV show in one go. But then the people that pay monthly have to wait for the freaking episodes to come out weekly. So what that would do is it makes everybody be like, oh, you know what? I don't want someone to spoil the show for me. So I'm going to pay for annual. And then they get a whole 12 months out of the person right then and there because they want to watch the shows when they come out. I guarantee you their annual subscriptions would go up. They would make way more money. And I think everyone would be happy because then they get their shows. They don't have to wait freaking, a period of time for that. It's annoying. It's annoying. It really is. Because I already pay for the annual subscription. I would love it if I could just get, the whole thing in one go. That would be amazing. All right. Making ourselves a doorway here, guys. We use Boolean and then just chop it with the cube. I know that wouldn't be great for like the people that don't want to pay for the yearly thing. They're like, oh no, I just want to make everyone else suffer. But to me anyways, I feel like that plan works perfectly fine. Because I already am going to get the yearly annual thing going on. Wait, what is going on right here? What just happened? I want to boolean the cube, and then that whole thing went away. Let's do fast. There we go. It's so weird sometimes when you use the boolean. You've been waiting for Stranger Things for 100 years. See, that's another one. I 100% agree. It's like, look, man, I get it. Well, in that particular case, the show's not even done yet, right? Like, they're still shooting. I think actually they finished shooting at this point. But I can see why that's taking a while. Because they still have to edit it. They still have to do all the things that they're doing. All right, there's our door. There's our back entrance. Here's our top floor. Here's kind of what I want to do. I'm going to duplicate this. We're going to position this roughly where this second floor is going to be. Let's hide that. Let's grab this, which is going to be our reference floor. I'm actually just going to duplicate it because I want to keep our reference floor. So let's just disable that for now. And then we're going to call this blue, baby. Let's grab everything here on this floor and then just scale it on the Z-axis like a bunch. Perfecto, baby. And then now if we Alt-H our stuff, but I'm just going to hide the roof again. We have this floor. That's still disabled. Perfect. But this guy, one thing to note about it, probably want to bring this up a little bit. And now this floor, let's use a Boolean plugged into this guy. We're going to save so that way we don't kill ourselves. Intersect it so that way it's only where the intersections are. Now if we hide that, you're going to see that we're only going to have the floor where that cube is. Which is great. Hide that again. This, probably want to bring this whole thing down. That's all good. We can do that. So we'll just grab everything here. Bring it down. Why can't I bring it down? What is going on right now? Let's disable that for right now. Okay. Bring you down. Make sure you're intersecting. We need you to intersect. It's the whole point of this Boolean thing. And then now we enable that. I think if we just apply it, should just work. Although, let's do that and just make sure it's fast enabled. And it looks like there is like a weird bug thing going on here, but that's easy cleanup work. Go ahead and save that. Just apply, and then I can just delete this guy. So now we'll have our planks going all the way, except for this one random one that we shouldn't have. Just delete you, brother. We don't need you. Kind of just eyeball that. I'll go to, there we go. Okay, great. So now we have our floorboards up here at the top. And probably just need to extend this a little bit more that way. I'll do one more. It goes a little bit outside, but it's not that bad of a... Not that bad. Okay. It'd be really cool if I could just tell my computer I want railing there and it just auto does it. How cool would that be if I didn't actually have to do anything? Wait till AI, man. Let's go ahead and just select this stuff here. I'm going to just do that. Duplicate it. Like so. We're just gonna eyeball this, man. We're just gonna duplicate, kind of rotate it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just gotta kind of line up with what we want. Just duplicate again. Went a little far, so we're just gonna we're gonna clean it up later. Don't worry about it, guys. Pure skills. Just keep it going. Right down the line. Then we just go right off the edge. All right, we'll go ahead and delete that. We're just going to do some cleanup work now. So all we have to do is just delete some of these. And I'm just going to, you know what I'm going to do? Let's just, can I do this by normal? So that's global. If I do this by normal, there we go. Allow us to just get rid of the areas that we don't want. Just go boom, delete, and then just grab these guys. Bring them back. I think we're missing a floorboard over here. That's not good. Let's just duplicate this one. Perfect. It's kind of like a banister that doesn't really go anywhere. All right, let's go and save that. Now let's see if this camera works now. It might turn off here in a moment, and if it does, I'll have to charge up the actual battery on the camera later. But will you add detail later, like cracks or something, or is that done in the materials? I'll probably be doing it in materials. I like to keep the topology of my objects pretty simple, usually. Oh, camera went off. Goodness gracious, guys. We had a camera for 30 seconds there. Yeah, I like to add a lot of that stuff later. Okay. Cool. Probably what kind of doors did they have? You'll probably just stick a door up here on the back. Always get in trouble by putting too modern of a door. Or something like that. He's back and he's gone. I tried, guys. I tried. I tried. I really did. Probably do something pretty simple with the door frame here. Something like that. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to maybe add some shader detail to that later. Okay. Now the interior. We've got like this whole bar thing back here. Like the idea of doing something similar to this. So if I can, I'm just gonna let's do this. So let's break off those corners there, and I'm gonna do something like that. Here's what I want to do. Let's grab this whole thing here and just going to select that back wall as well as these like posts and extrude that upwards. Yep. Then let's go up a little bit further. Now, I think if we selected that, I press all right. Sorry you guys missed that because you jumped to the other screen because that's my shortcut. But I'll do it again so that way you can kind of see it. I think actually, oh, there we go. Bridge faces. Well, let me do, okay, real quick. I'm going to say bridge edge loops, add to, assign to shortcuts. There we go. Okay. Back to the shortcuts over here. So now if I press Q, it'll automatically do the bridge edge loops. See that? Q. There we go. I'm going to do edge selection on these edges here. Probably not that back one. And that's not too bad. It's nothing special, but you know. Hey, Nikki's welcome to the chat. How you doing? We're just doing some interior design right now. Can I not do... Wait, so normals. Are normals non-existent on this thing? Let's do global. There we go. Then let's duplicate some of these up. If that wasn't a sign that I definitely messed up the... I don't know what is. All right, let's add bevels to these guys. Let's go ahead and save that, of course. And there you go. I guess we got ourselves like a really crappy looking bar thing. Wow, guys, this is coming along here. It's kind of working. It is kind of working. All right, let's apply this. I'm also going to just... bring that down. By the way, guys, if you guys haven't already, please hit the like button and, of course, subscribe below. Helps the YouTube algorithm know that this is not a crappy video. Although maybe it is a crappy video. I don't know anymore. Do we want to underskirt the whole back here as well? I think we might want to. Let's see. Let's swap that back to normal. Is it just literally facing that direction? You double like? Hell yeah. Like with all your YouTube channels. Let's array this. Oh my gosh, I hate that. How do I get this to orient correctly? Well, hey, if you like it with one of your channels and then dislike it with one of your other channels, then that kind of like evens it out, right? Let's do 0.5 on that and then negative 0.45. Can I do that? Yes, I can. I can do whatever the heck I want. All right, and then we'll take this, rotate it from there, I think. Let's do 3D cursor. Probably that. Kind of works. Kind of works. And we'll just position it again over there. Kind of line everything up like that. And there you go. I think we'll have like a nice underskirt. Oh, I like it. I like it. Well, that's working. That is working, guys. Okay, great. Let's see. I think I'm gonna delete that for right now. Let's do the railing here, and then you know what? We don't have any supports on the inside of the building either. Let's hide this for a moment. And then go back over to our supports here. And then let's just duplicate this guy. Where you at? Right there. Stick you on the corner. Let's do median point, I think, and then rotate it that way. And this one over here like that. Cool. Okay, fantastic. I don't know if there should be a thing right in front of like where the bar is, so let's just grab this whole thing and move it that way. We'll do it that way. Perfect. So the bar is kind of in the corner over there. And then we've got the to this top of the stairs here, which this will just be like, I don't even know what that is. All right, guys, I think that's going to be it for today. I'm sorry my camera's not working. I don't know what the deal is. But yeah, no signal. No, we're just going to it's not happening. I don't even know, guys. But I want to give of course a special shout out to our wonderful Patreon subscriber. And of course, if you guys would like these project files, wait, what, Connor? What do you mean? Wait, what? It's like been a 2.5 hour stream so far. But already? Yeah. I mean, I started at, well, no, I guess it's been an hour and a half. It's been an hour and a half stream. I just, I mean, I don't know. I guess we could shade this thing. My thing about shading this is that I don't know if the shaders are going to even go over into Unreal Engine. So it's like, I feel like we're just going to be wasting our time creating the shaders here. I could be wrong on that, but I just think I get that feeling. This was the other one we already did, by the way. Oh, I think I'm missing my... Was it an environmental texture? What is it? Oh, is it the wood texture itself? The wood's not loading. I don't know what's going on. Hello, Mr. Wood. I don't want to save this. Close. I'll probably have to like re-download that actually from the Blender, my Patreon. Then it'll probably have everything. I might have to download my own project file. But that was weird. Why was that not coming in correctly? I don't know, I was just trying to show you guys what the shading that I did was. But anyways, the cool thing is that we could do... Is it in... Second, let me find this real quick. Got models. It's projects. Do I have assets? Textures? Dirt? Rough wood? There it is. Why was this stuff not coming in? So if I go this guy. This is the general store that we created. One thing I am noticing though is, okay, so that opened correctly. Now it's not. What isn't loading? And then we will try to load you. It's our dirt texture. Which I have here. So, oh, wait. Is this our dirt texture? Is that what it said? Dirt diffuse. Good thing I have all these materials, guys. Dirt diffuse. There's our dirt. Our dirt displacement. We will reload everything. Because I'm probably going to use the same material. This is why I'm trying to get this to load properly on our other model. Here's our wood diffuse. That's not loaded apparently. Our wood roughness. Our wood normals. And if you want to see how we did all of this stuff, I definitely recommend watching this live stream. This is a great stream. Oh, wait, this wood displacement. Okay. Does that work now? Or do I still... Okay, great. So that wood shader came through pretty nicely. What am I missing over here? Do I just have to do everything again? It's crazy. Wood roughness. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's because I did try doing like a baking thing, and I think maybe when I did that, I screwed up the project file. Okay. There we go. All right, so this was our wooden general store that we did before. Probably just import this material, right? So wood panels and then wood structure. So if I go open recent number 2 here, I can go file, append. Number 1, we'll go to materials. We'll do both of these guys. Probably everything. Let's just append everything. And then I'm also going to append objects. I don't have them named, but I need the barrels. But I'll import those in a minute. But right now we don't have any shaders whatsoever on this guy. So all we have to do is we could start selecting some of our pieces of wood here. Oh, this is where everything got a little complicated, I think. You'll see in a moment. So the way that these shaders are broken down, we'll just we'll do it this way. All right. So I'm going to add wood panels. Now it needs to know each panel it gives a different shade to, and it needs to be unwrapped because as you can see right now, everything is just like way not working. Okay. So the way in which we do this is it looks for two types of UV maps here. And you can see both those UV maps inside of our shader window here. I'm going to make this a little larger so you can see it on your guys' screen here. But it's looking for what's called the texture and the random. Those are just two different data sets, which we'll open up inside of our properties window over here. Okay. So I'm going to create one called texture. That's going to be the first one we do. I'm going to select everything. We're going to say UV unwrap, probably do smart UV project, boom, done. Great. This is going to be the overall texture of everything, which it looks like the scaling is pretty good. Maybe not perfect on the back there, but we can fix that if we want. Otherwise, everything looks great. It's going to be important for us to do a vertical split here. So we'll just do this real quick and then open this up as a UV editor. Now, when we go into edit mode, we're going to see how these UVs are laying out for our texture UV map that we just created. Now we need to create a whole new UV map here. Okay. And then we're going to call this random. Now let's go ahead and select the camera on this random here. Because we already selected everything over here and kind of like laid everything out, it's going to mostly work. But one thing I do want to do is instead of UV unwrap, we're going to probably do, let's do, I can't remember which one we chose last time. Was it cube projections? Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think that's what it was. We did one wall at a time last time, so I kind of remember how we did it. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do it this time. Probably like so. So you're going to angle it. This is where things are going to get a little complicated. We're going to let's do it like this. We're going to angle it kind of like so. And it doesn't even matter. Supposedly we could just go straight on, I think. So if we're going to view it straight on here and we're going to do project from view. I think this is how we did it last time. And what that's going to give us is it's going to give us everything kind of all right there. I'm going to put this near the top. And then I'm going to deselect the whole front half of our building here. So just go like that. I'm just going to make sure everything's selected again there. And then again, we're going to go from front view, but this time we're going to grab this and move it down. And the reason why we do that is because we want just the front to be up here and we want just the back to be down here. The reason why is because it puts every plank as its like own object or its own UV square essentially. And that's really important because what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to randomize every plank to have a different shading. Essentially, it's like coming from different trees or the aging of the wood was different. It's going to add a lot of texture for us by doing this. Next up, go to this little box up here. We're going to select individual origins. We're going to scale everything down to 0. Now what it did was basically reduced each plank individually to just a singular point. And that randomization right here goes through a noise texture like so. And I can kind of show you this. If we go to material preview now, you're going to see each plank is going to have its own shade of gray. And that's randomizing essentially every plank to be a random color. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use a color ramp to say, hey, that value of 0 to 1, give it a different color ramp color. So you can see that happening here. So now I've got different shades of that kind of like wood grain coming through. And then that gets multiplied back over on top of everything else. So now on our piece of wood here, you'll notice that we've got all these different shades of wood. And that's all because we're randomizing the wood values. And that's right here, I believe. So if we disable this, Yeah, no, it's not that one. Oh, it's, see, it's this color. Oh, right here, mix. Well, that's like the dirt values that are happening. And you can see how it's adding like all of that dirt on there. I believe if we plug just this, this is just, wait, that's the dirt. There's like wood texture here somewhere. And I just want to show you guys what it looks like. I believe it's this guy. Yeah. You see how that's just kind of making it so all of the wood is the same freaking shader. If I plug that directly into the base color, you'll kind of see it even more so. It's like that's what we're adding by doing that randomization. Essentially just like making it so that every single plank of wood is different. Now we have to kind of do that with every single thing that we have. So up here, for instance, I have to apply that same material and you'll see it right here. So wood panels, we add that on. And then of course we add the two different UV maps that we're going to need, which is texture and random. So we'll call this texture. And then we can even just select this whole thing, do, unwrap. I like to use Smart UV Project. I find that works the best for these types of objects. And then, and as you can see, that already looks pretty good. But again, everything is the same shade. So we're going to go in and then we're going to add one called random. And really, the reason why I use project from view is you can kind of just see all of the objects that you're trying to do. And because of that, now we just go over here, scale everything to 0. Oh, don't want to do project, sorry, back up. That's all good. Make sure that the camera is turned on, otherwise it's going to overwrite your other thing. We'll do project from view. Honestly, it doesn't matter where they are, but you can see adds all those planks in there. And if you want, you can just disable this for right now. If you move this around, you'll see that it's kind of just like changing that randomness. So if there's like a specific plank that you really don't like, you can go in and let's just do Control L to make sure it's selected on everything. We could just go, oh, I don't like that, how that's also dark. So let's move this over here. And then you can do that with any of these planks. So if you're just, you want to target it, you can very easily control a lot of that. Let's save that. And let's go and select this front kind of wall here as well. So we'll call this wood panels. And then let's probably just throw a texture on this. And even some of them, you might be like, oh, you know what? This is good. I don't need to have the dark panels on it. So you can get away with some of those. You don't need it on every single one of them. Just make sure that I'm actually working on this. Yes, I am. Just call that texture. Perfect. I'm actually going to do a duplicate on this. We'll call it random. Let's go ahead and view it again. Do project from view. There you go. And I like that quite a bit. Just because the person's going to be walking up to that area, it makes it a lot easier. To differentiate everything there. Great. Now selecting all of our structures here, we have these wood structure texture that I did. Very similar effect that's going to be happening to it as well. So we'll probably, again, call this texture. And let's select everything and make sure we're using project from view or Smart UV unwrap, essentially. And it's just going to be a bit darker. And then here, I'm going to go to top view, and then let's create a new one. We'll call this random. And again, you project from view, scale 0, same exact thing. That's just going to make it so that everything has its own material to it. It's kind of a nice way of making sure that all of your materials are coming through in a very nice procedural way. That's good. Let's eyeball that. I do recommend, by the way, using this UV map node inside of your shaders whenever you're working on stuff, because you never know when you're going to need to basically you never know when you're going to need to separate your UV maps or have multiple UV maps. And I love to have multiple UV maps. I think it makes such a big difference. This is also so clean, so we can also dirty this stuff up. We have control a lot over the dirt layers that we're mixing into this, and so we can definitely go about that. Might even change the displacement here. It just adds that extra grunge dirt feel to everything. Let's go ahead and close that. All right, and then let's do another material here. Probably wood panels again. It's nice shading these kind of structures for this time period because it's not like they had a bunch of different types of materials. Everything's pretty much the same. I don't know if we want... That looks pretty cool. I might change the color a little bit. Yeah, I'm probably going to want to change the color of that. Let's see. I think that's happening through our dirt layer here. Our dirt diffuse. Yeah. Let's remove this for right now. And then I'm going to work on that dirtiness of it here in a little bit. I actually have another idea also. Let's go to... Let's make this wood structure so it's a little darker. That's cool. And then we'll go and do it like a nice little random again. That's nice. I like that. Okay. And then again for this, probably go structure again. And then we'll do probably just this. I don't think we need the random plank part to it. Yeah, we'll do this as structure. And then let's grab these two sides. I'm going to join them together. And we'll just make sure those are panels. And again, we'll call this texture. And this one definitely needs it. Yeah, let's see. 1 second. So if we grab that, I just want to do like a median point thing. Let's just scale that out a little bit. Yeah, that's good. Okay, last few things. It's really like a coloring book. We're just going through and just doing one thing at a time here. Probably grab that whole front piece. Call that structure, I suppose. I do think we should have a random on this, just a little bit. Okay. Let's select this top piece here. I probably should turn that on. It's a little hard to remember if I'm in object mode or edit mode every now and then. Let's do these guys real quick. Now you can see why I was trying to consolidate stuff earlier, because this can take forever otherwise. Oh, that's good. I like that. Okay, guys. Pretty close with all the exterior stuff. Got some interior stuff left to do. Let's just, do this real quick here. Maybe could have made like a Python script that just did this. Would have been more productive. Every now and then it's funny because it's like I just get lazy and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to make a Python script that'll do all that for me. Okay, that's nice. Kind of make this a little smaller so that way you guys can actually see what I'm doing on the screen here. It's taking up a little bit too much space. Yeah, let's do this top floor as well. Thank you, Marvin Studios. Appreciate that. Slowly but surely getting there. Again, just oops, project from view. That works so nicely. Just randomizing each one of these planks works great. Okay. Now this is like all the railings. Thank God. Let's make it actually all the railings. And then all of these as well. And should these be structures or panels? Actually, I think they should be panels. Yeah, I'm going to dirty it up here in a little bit. So I'm thinking we'll do panels. Let's actually duplicate this. we'll call this railing. I just want in the railing wood material that we have. There we go. Curves. I just want to lift that up a little bit. There you go. We'll do Smart UV Project. And let's see. Let's just do this. Project from view. Scale. Scale 0. It's already pretty much 0, but like there you go. Nice, guys. Nice. Oh my god, we still have all this crap. Oh, this is the back of the... That's hilarious. Like, where is that coming from? Goodbye. Just the cabinet on the inside. Maybe something like that. Yeah, for now we'll keep it all the same shade, I think. Okay. Windows. Windows, windows, windows. Wait, is this glass? Oh, wait, yeah, that's the window glass. Let's do the railing for these guys. Smart UV project, and then we'll call that texture. I don't think they have to be random. I think it's good enough. We have enough randomness everywhere else. Let's do that again for this guy. Okay, we're just going to join that together, honestly. Control I? Yeah. Whoopsies. Object, mesh, normals. Can I just do... Oh, because I assigned a freaking thing earlier. How do I do that where I remove... I don't know. Well, that didn't work. That worked a little better. Oh, all these wonderful things. Let's do this as structural supports. And just texture's fine on that. Probably a random as well. You know what? Let's do it. Why not? Little extra love doesn't do anybody any harm. All right. I'm gonna go with railing on that one as well. Probably another smart UV. I don't know. That's cool, actually. Okay. Then these guys down here, oh my goodness, this is going to hurt. Let's do that again on this. And we'll call this texture random. Oh yeah, baby. That random thing did wonders on that. Look at that. So much detail comes through on it then. Okay. Okay. Just like trying to make, that's good. It's just, there we go. Just trying to make this a little darker. That's cool. Nice. And honestly, once it's lit, it's probably going to be more visible even. Okay, so there's another thing we can do. This is the wood panels. Let's see what, does ambient occlusion work in Eevee? I actually don't know. It does. Okay, so let's do a color ramp with this ambient occlusion, and I'm gonna boost up the kind of like that. If we do distance, that's cool. So you can already probably see where I'm going with this. If we take this and then we invert the color on it, that's going to give us just like that section. Let's just make this a little more contrasty, like so. So you can see we're creating a little bit of a texture of like where maybe dirt might accumulate. And what I could do is I could actually move this material preview over there. We could take this, and now we've got like maybe kind of a super rough object, like that would might necessarily be dirt, right? And we can find our dirt texture that we have, like this dirt diffuse here. We could plug that directly into our base color. Whoops, not that base color. This base color here. And let's see, I think this mix here goes into that base color. And then this is kind of like this dirty dirt, right? We can mix this over top of everything by using a mix shader. And wherever it sees the white value, it's going to put that in. So we're going to plug that into the FAC. And so now we're going to have kind of like that wood material that we've been working with. It's thinking. And this is kind of like that clean, very wet wood. And now every time where it sees that, it's going to, you know, put that material in. So yeah, let's go and try that out. Let's see, we're gonna make this maybe not be so, just gonna soften it up a bit. But now if we go view it, I think we have to swap these shaders. And there you go. Now let's just make that a little bit more overt. And you kind of see we already have some dirt in there. That's pretty cool. Might lessen that. Obviously, we're just gonna add more and more dirt to that inside of our cabin window there. And then our other stuff, let's look at our roughness here. I'll probably take a color ramp again, and then right now it's pretty contrasty, which is why we're getting that. All I have to do is just dull it out a little bit. So instead of it ever being black, we can lessen the amount. It's pretty cool. Already quite a bit more dusty. I like it. Just a little bit more dirt kind of like there. It works pretty well. Ooh. Missed a whole section back here. Oof. 1 second. We still have modifiers. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have modifiers. No longer. They have been taken out. Holy cow. Okay, let's join these together, and honestly, screw it. Let's join it with this. I know that they're not the same object, but who cares? Because they're all going to get just the structure treatment. Boom, baby. Let's select everything, and then go to Smart UV Project this. Call this Texture. And then let's do another random here. Boom, boom. Now the structures don't have that same dirtiness as everything else, so we might want to fix that. So again, this time though, I'm probably not going to increase the dirt, but the roughness that's going into here, let's use another color ramp. We'll just, change this out a little bit. As you can see, we can just dull out everything by increasing that, so that way the maximum roughness doesn't ever get as dark as black, which is just like complete, like reflective. There you guys go. How does that look? Obviously, we have some interior work to do, but, from a decoration perspective, but I actually thinking that kind of works. Let's see. Just turn that off for right now. This light. I hate that. That's cool. So that way if the world were like darker nighttime, you got yourself a little that's cool, guys. We're gonna get to it. Marvin Studios, will the name be the same as the film? Good question. I don't actually have an answer on that yet. I think that the Unreal project is called Of Blood and Dust right now. I don't think that'll be the name of the project later. It's just that was a a name that I thought sounded cool, and I was like, oh, well, that would be cool if that was the name of a video game. I don't think that'll be the name of the game. If you guys have suggestions, of course, leave comments below. I would love to hear your suggestions on what you think the game should be called. But I do not currently have a name. I'm not opposed to it being called the same thing as what it was before the film. I'm also not like, oh, it has to be called that. I guess that's where my position is on it right now. Let's do so okay, if I do smart UV project, 1 second, and then we create a new one called random. Let's select that real quick. This might actually be interesting. That works, kind of. I love that orange light kind of coming from the inside there, guys. It's pretty cool. Well, there you guys go. I guess I don't know when I turned off the screencast keys. Sorry about that. Supposed to be having that on for you guys, and I think I turned it off at some point. Well, there you guys go. I am going to probably stop it there. There's just a lot of decorating to do on the inside. These project files, I mean, I say this every week, of course. You guys can get access to them over on the Patreon. Link to that is in the description. I will fix my camera. So that way the next stream it'll just work. But if you guys also, by the way, if you want to help with this game, it would actually be great if you guys wanted to start modeling some of your own stuff for this game, because this is going to be a lot of buildings that I have to make for this thing. So if you guys want to help contribute, then I would love to see some of the stuff you guys are working on. And if you guys want to help with that, that'd be great. And you know what I'll do is if you guys do make any assets that I like and I'm going to use in the game, then I'll give you guys a free Patreon subscription. So that way you guys can get access to all of the other project files as well. I think it's only fair if I do that. So if you guys do design any buildings, you know, try to make it to the quality level at least of this. I'm not, you know, an insane 3D modeler, but do that over on the Discord. I will put out a little thing on the Discord for all of you guys there to do that, and I can gift out some Patreon subscriptions and whatnot, of course. Yeah, but there you guys go. So this is the today's live stream of creating the saloon. I think we're pretty much done with this saloon for right now from an exterior point of view. So now we have two different building structures. We've got this one and we've got this other one. I think to finish off this series, otherwise I don't know when I don't know. I'd like to get back into doing some VFX streams. So with that being said, I might do one more building structure, and that will be probably a train station, because who doesn't like yourself a good train station? And we'll do that. Just add a light real quick. Want to see what this looks like too. Let's darken everything. We're gonna go to render view here. Turn film transparent on just so we could see everything better. That's pretty cool, guys. I love it. I need a little more slats on the wood so that way you could see through the slats better. I think that's cool. And then obviously glass. I don't have glass on the other guy. Realize I don't think I did that. Did I? Should add window glass. Let's do that real quick. That's not going to be too hard to do. Every time I think I'm almost done streaming for the day, I'm like, you know what? A window glass. I don't even know. Can I copy anything here? This is all just like joined together now. I don't think I can. Oh well. Let's do it this way. It's fine. We'll just eyeball it. We'll eyeball it, and that's what we're going to do. Oh, that is almost correct. Okay. Now, I don't think because I closed, yeah, I closed it, so I lost it. So let's append real quick the window. And then we use that window now on this guy. Did that work? Go to render view real quick. It kind of worked, baby. It kind of worked. So now we're just going to duplicate everything. There we go. Let's duplicate everything again, but over here. So now we got windows. And now, probably could just select all of these windows. I don't know how well this is going to work. We just go up. And then if we scale on individual origins. Oh, that was phenomenal, dude. And probably because also, let's do this. And then probably, let's see, we're going to rotate this to 0 or 90. Do object normal flip. We're going to have to make this so that it's not one object because obviously this door is going to have to open. So probably can do that later. Yeah, we could probably maybe do that later. Let's just put this at least inside, so that way we're only seeing the panes. And fantastic, guys. There you go. So we got some nice little frosted glass in there. We're going to have to figure out if we can import this into Unreal Engine super easy. I don't know yet. I don't know. You know, thank you, Marvin. I don't know that that's true, but I appreciate the compliment. You know, I think what makes it look like high quality modeling is the shading. I really do. I think the shading holds a lot. I think it makes it look way better than it really is. And then I'm not too concerned though, because a lot of the film or the game takes place at night. Actually, the whole game takes place at night. So you're really not going to see a lot of the details. You're going to be playing and it's going to be like probably realistically this dark, like right there. And I think this looks good that dark. I can't wait until we start dropping everything in and doing some play tests. I think that's my favorite part of game dev is just playing my own game. I really do. That's I think my favorite part. I've already dropped some of the models in, and then with Unreal they just have drag and drop you know, like characters and whatever that you can use. And it's like you can start playing the video game like almost immediately. It's insane. It is insane. All right. I think that's going to be it, guys. I'm going to save it there. We're saving. We're hit the save button. And also, I can't share this stuff publicly because when projects aren't necessarily out, but I'm going to be doing some VFX breakdowns on some stuff I'm working on the movies and stuff that I'm working on. And mostly workflow stuff. So it's not necessarily a breakdown of the shot as much as it is some really, really, really cool things we're doing with Blender that I'm very excited about. So that, as well as these project files, you know where to find them. Hey guys, join the Discord if you aren't already, and I would love to see some of your stuff. I'm going to put over there, if you guys can join with, start helping with some assets or whatever, that would be amazing. I'll give out some free Patreon subscriptions if you guys do that. I'm going to do the train one. So no one gets to do the train except for me. All right. That is the rule. And that's the rule. And there is no breaking that rule. Okay. So let's just go to my camera that doesn't exist. I'm invisible. All right. I am the invisible man. And that's the way it works. So you can't see me, but I can see you. And that's the part I want you to realize is that I'm watching you. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I don't even know anymore. I think my brain has turned into stew and it's over. It's over for me until next week. I think that's what we're talking about right now. But you guys have a great rest of your day. And I can't wait to see some of the stuff you guys make. Anyways, chat soon. You guys, peace out.